In this video, we interpret a commonly misunderstood and poorly applied listed activity or activities relating to the clearance of indigenous vegetation by explaining the meaning of three key words written into those listed activities, specifically clearance, indigenous vegetation, and linear activities. Those definitions are provided in the EIA regs and the department's guideline document. Welcome. My name is Sean McGregor of Ecoleges Environmental Consultants based in Mpumalanga, South Africa. And we're on a mission to empower all South Africans to protect their environment through the correct interpretation and application of our environmental legislation. So if you want to learn how our environmental law applies to you, and how to avoid triggering a listed activity or water use without the required authorization, and so to then avoid potential prosecution and penalties, or if you simply want to increase the internal capacity of your company by increasing the knowledge and skills of your staff to make environmentally responsible decisions without having to rely solely on external consultants, then you'll want to subscribe to this channel. You can subscribe by swiping your mouse over the logo to the bottom right-hand side of your screen. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon so that you can be notified the moment we upload a new video. These educational videos are for free, so we would sincerely appreciate your support to help spread the message by simply liking the video, if you or someone you know can benefit from them. Thank you. So let's get started. We continue with the same series entitled Most Common Recurring Non-Compliances. And the non-compliance covered in this video, or the title of this video, is Clearance of Indigenous Vegetation. Our interpretation and application of the clearance activities is based on the Clearance of Indigenous Vegetation Explanatory document published in August 2018. If you do have any queries regarding the interpretation or application of these listed activities to specific scenarios, then we recommend you contact the department's help desk. Their email address is iq@environment.gov.za. I've included a link to the explanatory document and the email address in the description below. It's also worth noting that this interpretation is applicable only to clearance activities that commenced on or after the 8th of December 2014, because that's when the listed activities came into effect. Now there are three clearance activities: listed activity 27 of listing notice 1, listed activity 15 of listing notice 2, and listed activity 12 of listing notice 3. Listed activity 27 of listing notice 1 reads: the clearance of an area of 1 hectare or more but less than 20 hectares of indigenous vegetation. Listed activity number 15 of listing notice 2 reads: the clearance of an area of 20 hectares or more of indigenous vegetation. And the final listed activity, number 12 of listing notice 3, reads: the clearance of an area of 300 square meters or more of indigenous vegetation. Now, there are exclusions to all three listed activities, and one exclusion is common to all of them. That is where the clearance of indigenous vegetation is required for maintenance purposes, undertaken in accordance with a management maintenance plan. Now, management maintenance plans have to be adopted or defined by the competent authority. The second exclusion, which is applicable only to listing notice 1 and 2, is where the clearance of indigenous vegetation is required for the undertaking of a linear activity. Now, it does need to be noted that listed activity 12 of listing notice 3 is only applicable to identified geographical areas, and they will vary from province to province. Those areas are specified in listing notice 3. Clearance includes such activities as ploughing, excavation, bulldozing, and spraying chemicals that would kill the plants. Basically, any activity that will result in the eradication, removal, or elimination of the vegetation. And so activities like burning, mowing, or pruning do not constitute clearance because they don't kill the plants. Indigenous vegetation refers to vegetation consisting of indigenous plant species naturally occurring within the area, regardless of the level of alien infestation, and where the topsoil has not been lawfully disturbed within the preceding 10 years. Now, a disturbance is considered lawful if no prohibition existed at the time, or if an authorization or permit required in terms of other legislation like CARA, ECA, or NEMA was obtained. A linear activity is an activity that is arranged in or extends across one or more properties and which affects the environment or any aspect of the environment along its course. The definition then goes on to list specific activities, including railways, roads, fence lines, pipelines, power lines, fire breaks, cableways, conveyor belts, canals, channels, funiculars, aircraft landing strips, runways, and telecommunication lines. We are going to conclude this video with a power tip, or at least a formula, to help you apply these clearance activities to your specific situation. Firstly, one needs to establish the size of the area to be cleared and then compare that with the thresholds prescribed in listing notice 1, 2, and 3. Make sure that your activity does indeed constitute clearance. Number 2, ensure that the area to be cleared meets the definition of indigenous vegetation. Number 3, consider the exclusions. Remember, there are 2 exclusions in listing notice 1 and 2 and only 1 exclusion in listing notice 3. The exclusion for linear activities is not relevant or applicable to listing notice 3. And finally, the 4th consideration, which is only applicable to listing notice 3, is to ensure or confirm whether your activity is taking place in an identified geographical area. And that wraps up the second video in our series, Most Common Recurring Non-Compliances. We hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching. If you have joined the MP or Nkosi tiers of our membership program, then you will receive an additional video that dives deeper into the subject of clearance by providing practical examples of how to apply these listed activities to different real-life scenarios. If you aren't a member yet, then check out our membership program on Patreon. And if you're just looking for an environmental consultant to help you with a once-off project, then you're welcome to visit our website. Now, if you enjoyed this video, you will definitely not want to miss the next one in the series. We take a look at the water use legislation governing the discharge and disposal of waste water to help create an awareness about one's roles and responsibilities when it comes to installing on-site disposal facilities for a single household. I also recommend that you catch up by watching our first video. We gave some practical key advice to holders of environmental authorizations to help their projects get off to the right start. So don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell notification icon so that you can be notified the moment we upload a new video. And remember, these videos are for free, so we would sincerely appreciate your support to help spread the message by simply liking them if you or anyone you know can benefit from them. Thank you, keep strong, and God bless.